I'm Samantha, 40 years old working housewife. I live with my husband, Mike, who is 2 years older than me, and our beloved cat. We've been married for 15 years now. If you ask me if I've been completely satisfied with our marriage life, not really. One reason is that we've never been able to have children. Another reason is that Mike, despite his low salary, doesn't help with housework, and he always lazes around at home on his days off. Moreover, Mike is somewhat of a mama's boy. Even now in his 40s, he always wants to visit his parents' house, which is nearby. After Dad passed away, Mom has been feeling lonely. He makes an excuse, but I don't think his mother would be mentally weak. She is so mean and classless. Listen to this. I was in line at the supermarket the other day, and I accidentally let off a fart, she said. And it was loud. I was so embarrassed, I turned around and said, "How rude of you to fart at people," as if it was the person behind me. She would proudly told this story, laughing, and Mike was laughing along, but I was appalled. I can't believe such a vulgar woman is my mother-in-law. Given her personality, it's no wonder she has few friends, and bullying her daughter-in-law seems to be her only hobby. I wouldn't mind visiting her if I got along with her, but with such a personality, no daughter-in-law would want to be with her. The couple who used to live with her, my brother-in-law and his wife, Linda, even fled because they couldn't stand the mother anymore. No surprise there. Living with just her, especially after the father-in-law passed away, would be like a penalty game. Unlike me, who is quite assertive, Linda was a quiet and patient type, yet even she had to escape. That's how much she was tormented. Linda wanted to move as far away as possible, but her husband, also somewhat of a mama's boy, refused to do so. So now we all live our own house, but not that far from where she lives. Both those brothers are mama's boys. What's so good about such a mother-in-law? However, as long as we are living in separate house from her, it is bearable. But if, by any chance, we get a cohabitation request from her, I'll make sure to stop it. I firmly vowed that to myself. However, when we were summoned into her house recently, the commotion about living together with her finally erupted. I've been thinking, it's about time we start living together. When can you guys move in? Suddenly, she gathered us and my brother-in-law's family. Just when I wondered what she was going to say, she abruptly started talking about living together. And she spoke as if cohabitation had already been unilaterally decided, jumping straight to discussing the timing of the move. Which was quite presumptuous. Hey. Wait a minute, I'm totally against living together, I said. I've seen the hardships Linda went through. I refuse to go through the same, I protested. I'm not asking you, I'm asking Mike. My mother-in-law dismissed my objection as if my opinion didn't matter. She dismissed my objection as if my opinion didn't matter. Even though I'm directly involved, if we're talking about living together, it seems my opinions are completely ignored. Well, I'm okay with it. Living together and all. Besides, when it comes time to taking care of Mom in the future, it'll be easier for Samantha if we all live under one roof, right? Incredibly, Mike was in favor of moving in. And he assumed I would take care of the future caregiving. Caregiving? Me? You must be joking. After all the bullying you've done, you expect caregiving? I retorted incredulously. How dare you be so brazen, I added. She looked offended. Oh, please. Bullying is such an ugly word. I was merely educating you as a senior housewife, she claimed. You are one to talk about education, I thought to myself. Anyway, I refuse both living together and caregiving. If you insist on them, I'll consider divorcing. When I firmly declared my stance, Mike was taken aback. Hey, come on, divorce is a bit much for something like this. A bit much? Forcing cohabitation and caregiving without considering your spouse's feelings is a valid reason for divorce. I have a job and steady income, so I wouldn't be in any trouble even if we get divorced. When I countered, Mike hesitated, mumbling uncertainly. If you absolutely refuse, then I guess we have no choice but to ask your brother and Linda to come back. Then it was Linda who started to panic. No. I can't. If I have to live with you again, my mental health will be completely shattered, she protested. Absolutely not. But then, her husband tried to mediate. Well, Linda, just calm down. Mom might have been a bit tough on you before, but it was all for your own good. She's been reflecting on it too. Reflecting? From what I see, there's no sign of her reflecting at all. That's right. Besides, you never talk back no matter what's said. It's not motivating for us either. Having a daughter-in-law who's too assertive like you is a problem, but one who says nothing is a problem too, she added. That's right. You have things to reflect on too, you know, her husband agreed. What? Linda was left speechless by her husband's unbelievable remarks. Standing beside her, I was in the same boat. I was unable to say a word. Besides, Linda has always been a housewife, so if she were to divorce, you would immediately struggle to make ends meet. Not like Samantha, who works. When her husband said that, even the mother started to jump on the bandwagon. That's right. Linda, if you keep being selfish, you might end up being left by your husband, you know? After all, a woman who's neither pretty nor having great shape, if left, will have nowhere to go but the streets. Where is this a reflection she's supposed to be doing? I seriously wondered. She was getting more and more carried away. You used to be cute when you were younger, but now you are gotten quite plump. Speaking of which, the walruses come to California in the spring. Don't they? She mused. Walruses? That sounds great. Even her husband started to laugh. How dare? Linda was distraught. Are you saying I look like a walrus's? Tears welled up in her eyes, and I frantically tried to comfort her, but the mother and her son's comments didn't stop. Oh, come on, that's just paranoia. I was merely talking about the walruses that come to California. She deflected. Right, hey. Walruses flap their flippers and go ow, ow, don't they? She egged him on. Ow, ow, her son imitated. You really do look just like them. He laughed. Incredibly, they started to imitate a seal, flapping their arms as if they were flippers. Stop, please stop. I pleaded. Have you all gone mad? I couldn't help but shout, and Linda burst into tears and ran out of the house. As I stood up to chase after her, I yelled at the mother. How can you be so insensitive and thoughtless? This is why Linda and I don't want to live with you. Then Mike retorted disdainfully. You act all high and mighty because you work, but in the end, living alone as a woman, you're bound to end up homeless. Just like Linda, you'd be in trouble if you got divorced. Don't think you can use divorce as a threat, you'll be the one regretting it. Don't think you can use divorce as a threat, you'll be the one regretting it. His words hit a sore spot. Indeed, I might have a better standing than Linda, but the truth was, I also couldn't easily make the jump to divorce. Anyway, I absolutely refused to live together, just so you know. I declared it and stormed out of her house. I intended to find and comfort Linda. After wandering around town for a while, I found her walking slowly. Linda. Samantha. She turned around and had a face drenched in tears. I managed to calm her down and we entered a nearby cafe. I can't take it anymore, she said. The mother has always bullied me, and he never helps me at all, she continued. I agreed with her. Yeah, your brother and Mike are both such mama's boys. I sighed. It's not just the bullying, I can't stand him cheating either, she confessed. And to think the mother is even helping him cover it up. I was taken aback by such a sudden revelation. Wait, what? Your husband is cheating? And his mother is helping him. You didn't know? He's been cheating for a while. He says he's going to his mom's place, but actually, he's been out on dates with his mistress. She revealed. And the mother, knowing all this, has been helping him create alibis. She added, and tears streaming down her face as she vented her pent-up feelings. I sighed deeply, feeling a profound sympathy for her. I was appalled and felt deep sympathy for her. Being bullied by her mother-in-law and cheated on by her husband, what a tough situation. I understand why you're upset. It's really unfortunate, I empathized. But why do you put up with it? No matter how uncertain you are about your living situation, you don't have to be that patient. I tried to encourage her. I intended to encourage her with my words. But she looked up at me with a puzzled expression. Why do I put up with it? But aren't you in the same situation? She questioned. What? Then she began to share an astonishing story with me. After hearing everything, we decided to team up and take revenge on them. Everyone in that family was incredibly audacious. There's no reason for us, the two daughters-in-law, to remain silent after being treated with such disdain. We vowed to pay them back double for all the disdain we had endured and to teach them a lesson. A month after we made our resolution, we received another summons from the mother-in-law. We received another summons from her. Since then, we had been preparing quietly, without telling our husbands. This was the perfect opportunity. We headed to the in-laws' house, determined. I've been thinking, and I really need one of my son's families to live with me. She brought up living together again. I'm getting older, and eventually, I'll need you to take care of me, she said. Think of it as practice from now on. Linda answered firmly before I could. I refuse. I will never live with you, she declared. If it comes to living together, I'll divorce. The mother-in-law seemed taken aback by her firm tone, different from before. Still talking like that. What about you, Samantha? She turned to me. My turn, huh? I responded. So, you're saying you want to live with us because you want us to take care of you? I clarified. Well, that's part of it, but I'm lonely on my own, and I want to live with one of my sons, she admitted. It seems she was getting increasingly frustrated because we wouldn't say yes. Can you brides really not listen to a single request from me? This is an order. Since I will be living with my son, you must move in together. Linda and I exchanged glances and nodded in agreement. No, thank you. How about this person instead? And then I spread several photos across the family table. What is this? My brothers-in-law and Mike gasped in shock. Because those photos were evidence of the two brothers cheating. Scenes of them entering hotels with women and kissing behind telephone poles. You two, always together, even in cheating. Such brotherly love. And it seems like your mother knew about it. Despite knowing, she helped you two create alibis. After such despicable acts, you have the audacity to ask us to live with you and take care of you? Linda was nodding in agreement beside me. If you need caregivers, ask these women in the photos. We're getting divorced, so no living together or caregiving from us. That would be a problem for us. She panicked. A problem? We have no problems at all. Right, Linda? Linda smiled brightly. Hey, Linda. You'll be the one in trouble if you get divorced. A housewife won't survive on her own. My brother-in-law started yelling. He might want to start imitating a walrus again, like he did a month ago, but that won't fly. Divorce is just a threat, right? Linda replied with a clear face. Oh, we're not troubled at all. We plan to get plenty of alimony from you. What? We'll also demand alimony from your affair partners, and that should cover the cost of renting a small apartment and starting over. It'll be tough to find a job, but we're determined to make it on our own. Linda, I'll help you. We, two women, decided to support each other and get through this together. With my personal savings, we could manage for the time being. Once Linda extracts alimony from her husband and his affair partner, we've agreed she'll pay me back with a little interest. We need to pull as much money as we can from these guys. Yes, Mike, we plan to demand alimony from you too, and your affair partner as well. Even though I work, money is never enough for a divorced woman over 40. As I declared to Mike, he clung to me. I'm sorry. It was just a moment of folly. Just a bit of fun, not serious. Serious or not, cheating is cheating. I've already consulted a lawyer, so save your excuses for them. I handed Mike and my brother-in-law the business card of a lawyer's office. Linda and I have got the same lawyer. We signed contracts with the lawyer for both of them at the same time and got a slight discount on the deposit. This is what you'd call a bulk discount. A smart housewife's trick, right? Wait a minute. Let's talk. Please, anything but divorce. We apologize. Please see how sorry we are. Mike and my brother-in-law apologized on the spot, but our mother-in-law started yelling in frustration. If you want to divorce, then go ahead, do as you please. If you can't accept one or two affairs from your husband, such a bride is no use to us. Linda chuckled softly. Before I knew it, she was brimming with confidence. Indeed, it seems women grow stronger in the 11th hour. You're quite lenient with infidelity, aren't you? Is it because you have something comes to mind? She flinched noticeably. What are you suddenly talking about? I heard from the neighbors that you had an affair back in the day too, with a part-time student from Mike's swimming club. What's wrong with your family's DNA? Your late husband was such an upright man. Who told you such things? Who knows? If you're curious, why don't you ask around? Well, we're off to pack our bags, so we'll see you soon. Linda and I stood up simultaneously. And we said cheerfully. Enjoy your walrus impressions together. Ooh. Ooh. Afterward, Linda and I went back to our respective homes, picked up our pre-packed bags, and left. We had already signed the lease for an apartment, so we planned to meet there. Mike kept calling me, and Linda's husband kept calling her, but we ignored all their calls and left everything to our lawyer. Eventually, the double divorce was finalized, and we received our alimony. Mother-in-law's planned to have us take care of her, but it fell through. Now she's clinging to her 2 sons, who are apparently squabbling over who should take care of her. Please come back. I was wrong. Let's start over again. I'll be waiting forever at that restaurant where we used to date. Such pathetically persistent emails arrived one after another on mine and Linda's cell phone from my brother-in-law and Mike. At night, after work, Linda and I drink, using those emails as snacks, and mock our ex-spouses. Hey, Linda, where's that restaurant? Who knows? The place we used to date at has been demolished recently, so I wonder where they're waiting. After taking the beloved cat with us, Linda and I lived together as 2+1 for a while. But once Linda got a job, she moved out of the apartment. She was a fellow escaped from that in-laws house. We plan to keep in touch and support each other moving forward. Today, as well, I'm stroking my beloved cat, sipping coffee, and enjoying a leisurely life.